What's going on, guys? It's Maddie from DCLblogger.com. I have not made a video for a good week or so. Been very busy. I've also forgotten my microphone at my house. I was living with my in-laws for the last few days, or the last 4 to 5 days. Also want to apologize in advance for any audio issues with this recording, mainly resulting in my laptop just overheating all the time, so I have to play with the audio to fix it all up, which gives you that really crappy audio. Hopefully that doesn't happen this time. I'm kind of like far away from the laptop, so hopefully the noise from the laptop does not affect the audio. Anyway, there's a lot that's happened in the last week. In fact, the last 2 weeks. I'm going to go through some of the stuff here. I'm going to go through some of the previous land sales in the last week, some updates, some things to expect, some interesting things about Decentraland. So it's you know, we hear an update from the team, the DCL team, maybe once in a fortnight, once a week, something happens. But it's always good to, I'm thinking of doing this daily, guys. I'm not sure if that's a good thing to do, but there's literally so much to talk about with Decentraland every single day. Some new realization. I can always just cover the land market. I can always cover the market sentiment, cover the builds, cover the partnerships that come out. If you want me to do this daily, could you just give me a comment down below? Let me know, because it was a thought that crossed my mind, and I was seriously thinking of doing this every single day, like just quick, you know, just a 5 to 10 minute what the hell's going on with Decentraland kind of video. But for now, let's just go over the Decentraland land market and then comment on a few things that are coming up with Decentraland. All right, what's been going on with the land market? So there has been a bit of talk, high probability that the second auction for the unclaimed lands are coming up really soon. And that's mainly because the Decentraland team kind of getting us used to using the Agora Voting platform to govern or self-govern the Decentraland platform. They're kind of getting us used to, you know, using Agora. And Agora is a voting platform, and basically the more mana you hold, the more power you have in voting. So you can see that 18.8 million votes worth of mana has been voted. Okay, and 2 or 3 of these have come from really big wallets. Now my wallet's 1.7 million alone. That's, I voted for Q4 2018, so the end of this year, hopefully in December sometime. That was one of the options, and the other option was Q1 2019, so Jan, Feb, March next year. A lot of people are voting for Q4. There's one for Q1. Lots of Q4 votes going on. But like, there was my wallet that was 1.7 mil, and then there's this wallet, right? The guy that we call Nessie, 15 million. So what's that? That's like 17 million mana worth of voting coming from 2 wallets. I'm not sure if that's a good way to kind of govern the Decentraland platform. I think this is interesting feedback for the DCL team to take this on board, because at the end of the day, like, you can just buy up, you know, 10 million mana kind of without any land at all, and put your input into what you want, you know, with the results of the voting for different options that are going to be coming up. And you won't own any land, but us as landowners will probably have the biggest effect. The developers, the people that are building games and all that kind of stuff. So I hope that the weighting system changes a little bit just to make it more fair. Yes, it does favor people with a lot of mana, but at the end of the day, like, there's a different scale here to work with, different types of investors. But that's all things that need to be worked out. But going forward, looks like, now they have said that they're not going to take these. This is just like an example, kind of, you know, a test voting play system, just for this vote, just to see how it all works. So they're not going to, this is not a decisive vote. They may take this into consideration, they may not, but since they've given us 2 options here, which are only like 3 months apart, expecting a auction anytime within the next 5 months, it seems like their head is in the space of having an auction pretty soon. Looks like everyone wants an auction in Q4 2018, so at the end of this year. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Well, there has been effects on the land market because of that, whatever's coming up. So people have been kind of selling their land a little bit cheaper than market price. Market price used to be 15,000 mana, but lately it's dropped quite significantly. If I order this to the cheapest, there's lands you can actually pick up for 10,000 mana, 10,000, 11,000, 12,000. There's a whole page of under 15,000. I think there's a couple of pages actually, 2 pages. Well, maybe this one's 3 pages. So before there was no lands under 15,000, but now, that lasted a couple months or maybe 1 month of no lands under 15,000. But now, since this voting kind of option came up, and then everyone's realized that there's going to be an auction soon, I think people are trying to get rid of some more land to get a hold of more mana. But in saying that, most of these lands that are listed at the lower end, so 9,000, 10,000, 11,000 mana, has predominantly been from one seller, which is this guy, the guy we call Nessie, who initially a few months ago bought up all of these lands from 7,000 mana to 15,000 mana, kind of single-handedly. So this guy now must have realized that there's a handful of lands within his portfolio that he likes and he's willing to keep, but there may be a ton of lands that he's realized that he's probably never going to do anything with, and he's trying to get rid of that to prepare for the next auction, or just generally diversify a bit more into the mana, into the mana scene. Now you can see, like, look at this, 9750, 9500. This is the seller, right? This is the same seller. Kind of makes an appearance here again. 9,500 mana, 9,500 mana. Again, he's all of these guys. So 4, 5, 6, 7, all of these 10,000 mana. So at the end of the day, when it's one guy selling up all this land cheap, hopefully when he runs out or he decides to stop doing that and the market volume picks up, the buyers pick up with that, they'll bump the price right back up again. And there was a point where lands were 9,000 mana, but now we have just a couple lands in the 10,000s, I think, which are a few lands, maybe a couple more, like 6 or 7. But if these 6 go, then the next, like, maybe if 10 of these go, then we're back into the 13,000 range almost. So it's, for me personally, it's interesting. Like, I'm kind of sitting as a land trader, like, this is a lot of volatility for me, and I like volatility because people are more emotional. They want to sell quicker, they want to buy quicker. So I like to take I like to trade within those zones. But in saying that, the future of Decentraland is a bit unknown. Like, is mana going to spike so high up that people will want to dump their lands even cheaper to maybe 5,000, 4,000 mana because they can cash out more fiat, right? Because mana is worth more. And that's something that I'm just kind of hanging out for. But that really depends. Like, it seems like that is what's going to happen, because if the auction gets closer and closer to the date where it's actually going to be auction date, then more people will hodl their mana, which will remove mana from circulation, from the kind of sell zone, right? Like, not many people will be selling their mana, but more people will want to buy, which will increase demand, reduce supply, mana shoots up. Now if mana starts to hit 30 cents, 40 cents, 50 cents, then are people going to spend 10,000 mana for a land when that's 5,000 USD, right? That's a lot of money for a basic lower end land parcel. So will people that want to cash out dump it to 3,000, 2,000 mana because maybe they just really quickly want a couple of thousand USD fiat, and if mana is trading at 50 cents, they may have to sell their land at like 3,000 to 4,000 mana if there's no buyers. So for me, it's just I'm kind of sitting on the sidelines here. I'm waiting it out, but at the same time, while it seems like mana will spike, I'm pretty confident it will next few months. Bitcoin just recently kind of broke its downward trending triangle, and a lot of technical analysts are saying that it's going to continue to go down, right? So that being said, that might offset the increase in mana. I just don't know how this is going to play out. There's a lot of factors going into play. Unless I can get lands at a ridiculously cheap price, I'm talking like 5,000, 6,000 mana, maybe even cheaper in the current land climate, I'm not willing to risk my mana stack, because it's there, it's healthy, and I have a ton of land that I need to sell. Like, I've got like 60 to 70 parcels of land I need to sell for 20, 25, 35. That's another 33, 46, 80 parcels of land that I need to sell. And these are all estates. So I need to get rid of at least these two. Hopefully this one and this one. I really just want to be keeping this one so that when people want to rent, I'm happy to give them this for rent and hold like 3 to 4 million mana, because I want to participate. I want to be a big investor in the next land market, and I'm pretty sure mana is going to spike, so I'd love to cash some of that out. Anyway, so that's a bit of commentary on the future of Decentraland, what's going to happen. There may be an auction coming up. Seems like it's going to be going that way. In terms of preparing for that, I just don't exactly know how to do it. So much land still to be sold, guys. Like, I think there's like 9,000 parcels of land in decent areas. Okay, they're not connected to any roads, but at the end of the day, like, this little block here would be pretty cool in between Ethereum and DCL Conference Center, and there's a few other districts over here, like a block over here or a block over here, or even all this land just in the Chinese zone. And the Chinese telegrams are, sorry, their WeChat groups. I'm part of their WeChat groups, and a lot of discussions going on, quite active actually. They've got their own forum as well. So although we don't hear much about them, there's a lot of stuff going on there. So it might be worth picking up some smaller estates over here. You know, a 10 by 10, not really that small, but like even a 5 by 5. There or there. There's even some parcels over here that are closer to some bigger districts. Even the ones up next to Vegas City, above DCL University. These ones over here are close to Fashion Street. Even these ones over here. Like, there is going to be like 10,000-ish lands, 9,000 to 10,000 lands still for sale. So will people have the money to collectively, you know, buy all that out, or how is it going to go down? It'll be interesting to see. Anyway, let's go to the land market, guys. Let's go to the land market. All right, so I'm going to go over the last 7 days worth of land market volume, the sales that's happened, commentary on the volume, what's going on. Now, although people seem to be selling lands for as cheap as 10,000 mana, it seems that the only lands that are selling for the lower range prices are those on the far outskirts, kind of in the middle of nowhere, lands that not many people want, to be honest. Like that one, this one's like, you know, right at the end. What about this one? It's not that, this one is decent, but well, bought it for 15,000, sold for 9.5. It's decent, but like it's still not connected to any roads, or probably not close to any districts. What else do we have? We got this one. Kind of still, again, like the more unowned parcels around that land kind of gives you an indication that it wasn't a popular land. There's that one, this one, like these are all in the southern part of Decentraland, right? So there you go. So what I've found is the lands that seem to be selling for really cheap are the ones that, you know, don't hold that much value. They're at the bottom end of the barrel. But there's still a lot of activity going on with lands that still hold value. Like this is a double road, sold for almost 30,000 mana. This one sold for 56,000 mana, which is only one parcel away from Genesis City, which kind of sucks because that used to be my parcel that I sold 15 days ago for 38,500. Someone flipped my parcel for 20,000 mana. Congrats to him. But I mean, like, if someone's still spending 50,000 mana on a land that's not even connected to Genesis Plaza, like this one here, 24,000 for one that's connected to the Decentraland land sign, 49,000 mana for one that's connected to Ethereum, double road Ethereum. Like what I'm finding is that the parcels connected to decent kind of like other double roads, single roads, districts, Genesis Plazas, etc., the ones that hold value. I'm in a really weird sitting position here. I'm kind of kneeling down on my bed, but trying to keep my mic really far away from my laptop. But yeah, guys, like what I found is like if you have parcels that are in decent areas, like they will hold their value, okay? Because at the end of the day, if people want certain parcels and yours is unique, then they don't have much to choose from. And all you have to do is wait for that particular buyer. Now, if you have parcels that are kind of not really connected to anything or not even close to any districts, then you're in this zone. And that's where it's kind of like, it's a bit safer because you're not investing too much, but it's also a bit risky because that's the bit of the barrel that's going to get affected the most. But let's look at land volume. Let's look at land volume, guys. So the last 24 hours, we've seen 12 land sales, and this is a lot less than we've been seeing in the last 1 or 2 months, where land sales used to be like 30, 40, 50. But at the same time, you have to understand that estates are a different page that we have to take into consideration. So we got 3 estates that have sold in the last 24 hours, which 2, 9, 11, 13. So 13 have sold there plus 12 here. So that's about 25 lands with a volume of 16,000 USD. So 33,000 US dollars. Okay, that's pretty damn good. That is freaking good. That's I'm happy with that volume. 25 lands and about 35,000 USD for the last 24 hours. And that's similar to what it's been. And a lot of people, I guess, for me, it was a bit of like, ooh, are we losing a bit of volume? Because every time I check non-fungible, I'd only see 10 to 15 lands. But then once I realized that estates are a separate beast, then it kind of will make sense. Because look, in the last 24 hours, we've had 11 sales there. In the 24 hours before that, we had 9 sales. 24 hours before that, we had 4, 8, 10, 16 sales there. So it all kind of, look, we had a 40 land sale there. That was a big one over there. 40 plus 9, 50 lands sold in that area, right? So that day alone, we were like 115,000 USD in volume just with estates. So that was like 8 days ago, plus the 8 days ago here. Oh God, I can't be bothered going all the way down. But you get the idea, right? Like there is volume coming in. It's just spread between estates and single parcels. So I love the fact that there's still volume coming in. But there's some, it's hard for me to see what's a good deal and what's not a good deal, because, if this was about a few weeks ago, then I'd be like, whoa, people have been picking up for parcels for 10,000 mana. That's definitely a good deal. But now that's the floor. Like 10,000 mana is the bottomish area. Before it was 15,000 mana. So 10,000 mana was a good pickup. But now it's 10,000 mana and people don't know how low it's going to go, because we don't know how people are going to react with the auction coming up. How low they're willing to sell. Maybe they want to trade their current parcels for some future unknown parcels. So, but there have still been some, straight away good deals that have come up. Let's just change this to image so we can see what's going on. This one was only 1 parcel away from Fluffyland and pretty close to DCL University, so for 12,400 mana. I think that's a pretty good buy. This one, it's not easy to get a parcel that's connected to Genesis Plaza anymore, guys. Okay, it's not easy to do that. So although I was selling a parcel connected to Genesis Plaza for about 55 or 60,000 mana, that was about a couple of months ago. I think mine sold. So seeing one selling for 56,000 mana, but it's not even connected to a Genesis Plaza, is like, whoa, that guy kind of overpaid. But in this climate where it's difficult to get unique parcels, it may be a good buy. But in terms of buying and selling, no. What do we have? 49,000 mana for a Ethereum parcel. I'd say that's expensive, but then again, there's not many parcels available. I've got one set here, these 3 connected to Ethereum. It's in a pretty good location and I bought it for a decent price. It's good to see that a parcel that's sold all the way down here in what I would think is a less active kind of area, a less desirable area, sold for about almost 50,000 mana. It's good to know that, because then that gives me some pricing details with this. Ideally, I want to sell this for about 400,000 plus. So that works out to be about, 35,000 mana a parcel. Technically, all of these are connected to DCL Ethereum. Let's see, what else do we have, guys? What else do we have? What was a good deal? This one sold for 88,000 mana. He bought it for 75,000, so he flipped it for 13,000 mana. But I don't like waiting a month. So this guy waited a month. 13,000 mana is still pretty good. I mean, that's 1,200 USD. But for me, locking up this much mana in one deal and waiting for a while to sell, I'd rather get it much, much cheaper. But still, that's still a profitable investment. So at the end of the day, that worked out. 31,000 mana for a single parcel. I'd say that's kind of on the expensive end. What else do we have? I can't really tell you if these were good deals, because I personally feel that the lands that are in the middle of nowhere, or on the far southwest, to me, like, it's such an open area. And districts are the only ones that are kind of supported by DCL themselves to kind of build something, right? So you can expect a lot of activity, a lot of building happening there, which in turn makes sense that there'll be a lot of traffic there. But in these areas that are kind of left to indie developers to make, I can't be that certain that that's going to be a desirable place to kind of explore. So is that place even going to get much traffic? We'll have to just wait and see. What do we have? What do we have? These were some good deals. Like 3 parcels connected to double roads sold for 20,000 mana each. This one sold for 15,000 mana, which is pretty good. Like, I would say that would have been that's like the best deal I have seen so far. Whoa! And he sold it for 30,000 mana. Okay, so we flipped it in 3 days for 15,000 mana, and those are the deals I like to do. Nice. That wasn't me, but good on that guy for doing that. Like I said, guys, like I say in my every one of my videos, I don't buy off market. So none of these parcels are me in terms of buying. They may be me in terms of selling, but none of them are mine in terms of buying. I like to buy. I do deals off market. I don't do them on market. I don't know if that's what I said first. All right, let's go. Last 4 days before this one was mine. Sold for 15,900 mana. Although it's not connected to a single road, it's somewhat close to the center city, so that's where it holds its value. It's interesting for me to see that even a parcel so far, like, away, like touching the edge of the map, but in this little pocket area that is so much more valuable than any other pocket at the moment in the outer quadrant. So I'm not talking in the minus 50-50 zone, but any other like little pocket of area, nothing is more expensive than this area right here. And in terms of expensive, I'm talking about the ones not just listed for a lot of price, but they're actually being bought for quite an expensive price. This one bought it for 32,000 mana. Someone else bought it for 30,000 mana before that. He's selling it for 24,000 mana, so he's taking a bit of a loss on it. But these ones, I think these ones sold for like 40,000 or something. What was it? What did these guys sell for? Let's see if I can pull up that value for you. Load. No. But I know I sold some parcels here a while ago. I think it was this little 5x5. Jeez, nothing's loading. I need a new computer, guys. Alright, so I sold that for 49,000 mana. I actually sold all of these 5x5s for 49,000 mana. Look at that. 49,000. This one I sold for 65, and I had this pocket. The guy that bought it off me sold it again for 70,000 mana. But I had a 4x5 or a 5x5 or something, I can't remember, and I sold them each for 50,000 mana, guys. Like, this area here is quite desirable. So it's interesting for me to see continuously that keeps getting bought for over 30,000 mana. Double road, 37,000 mana, nothing special there. Look at that. That's all for 22,000. Did this guy flip it again? He flipped it. That's another 16,000 mana made in the same day. Whoa. All right. That's crazy. Nice flip. Well, I guess that was a good buy then. Sometimes, like, to me personally, like, if this came out, I would probably buy it because I know it's worth more than 35. But I honestly wouldn't have the balls to sell it for 38. Actually, that's not too bad. 38,000. I would list it for that. What else do we have, guys? What else do we have? What else were good deals? Give me a good deal. Give me another good deal. Good deal. That one's 48,000. Look at that. Again, in that pocket. 48,000 mana for one connected to a single road. Man, what did this originally sell for? 1,800 mana. That would have been one of the most profitable investments for all of Decentraland. If you were someone that invested in this pocket, because some of these lands were picked up for only 1,000 mana. And now they're being sold for like 20k plus. It's like 20x. It's ridiculous. What else do we have? What else do we have? Anything awesome? Give me something awesome. 35,000 mana, one parcel away from this district. 37,000 mana. This one is one connected to Ethereum, I believe. Uh, 59,118. Yep, I think that's Ethereum. What else do we have? This one was sold for 69. Was that my one? Is that my parcel? Yes, it is. Sold that one. What a good deal. 50,000 mana again in that pocket, guys. That pocket. It's a golden pocket. I'm telling you. If you get anything there below 20,000, you're going to do good. Nothing else, guys. Nothing else I can see. What do we have? Give me something. Give me something amazing. Oh, we still have estates to go over. Party's not finished, guys. Party is not finished. What do we have? Anything special? No, these are all standard prices. Standard prices. Nothing amazing to me. This one was 9 minus 3. So that one was one parcel away from Ethereum. 25k. Ooh. Nice. What else do we have? Like, it's a good idea for you guys to follow this website. Literally every single day. Wake up, refresh, go to sleep, refresh, middle of the night, refresh, see what lands have sold. After a while, you start to get a good intuition as to, is this my old land? It is my old land. I'm such an idiot. I actually bought this and listed it for 85,000 mana. And the guy bought it off me and sold it literally 2 days later for 115,000. And then now that guy bought it off him and sold it for 129,000. So I would have made like 40k mana plus. I actually bought that for 12,000 mana, so I am not bothered. But still, money is money at the end of the day. This bad boy again was mine, 135,000 mana. That was another 12,000 mana buy. I actually bought them in a set of a bunch of lands, so it was quite profitable for me to just list it and just get rid of it. Nothing else, guys. Nothing else that special. Let's have a look at some estates. That's the fun part. Now with estates, I'm realizing there's not many, as you can see, that are over the 200,000 mana mark. Okay, it's important to note. Okay, there's a 1.3 mil. It's a big investor. Rarely does a big investor come and buy up some of these big estates. 735,000, that was mine. I purchased that one because it was in a good location. But most of these estates seem to sell somewhere between. This one was 525. This is a good deal as well. That wasn't mine, but I was really interested in that one. Got very close to pulling that trigger. But yeah, like most of these estates seem to sell between 25,000 to about 200,000 mana. It seems like that is the range of mana that people are interested in investing in Decentraland. Like that's the majority range, right? Rarely does a big investor come in and buy one of the big estates because one, they're usually not worth it because people are charging way too much, people like me. But two, they're just a lot of money, right? So for us, the guys that hold estates that are, over 20, 30, 40 parcels, like our strategy is to kind of price it high, wait till someone comes and negotiates and buy it. Or like I found like I'm stuck with like 6 estates now that ideally I want them all gone. Ideally, I want it to be converted into mana. But I'm not willing to sell it anything less than something awesome because at the end of the day, they're really, really rare to get those estates. All right, so, whoa, I've disappeared. All right, so let's take a look at some of the estates that have sold. 40k for 2 of the road parcels. Road parcels are kind of in between 17 to 25,000 mana. They've been hovering at that price for a while, actually. Did I ruin this timestamp? Okay, so yeah, there's that. This one sold for 165,000 mana. There's one connected to a double road, so that in itself is worth about 35,000 mana. And then there's another 8 connected off that. So if we take a value of, let's say 14k in this condition. So 8 times 10, 80 plus 4, 120, 120 plus 35, 160, 155. This is actually this used to be mine. Like the individual parcels all used to be mine, but I sold it all to separate sellers. But that one of the sellers actually ended up buying all of them from the guys that bought it off me and then resold it for 165. So he must have made about 10,000-ish profit. This one was a 6-piece land. That's mine again. I'm trying to look for other ones. This one's mine as well. I bought all of these individual ones. I sold all of these individual ones for about 55 to 65,000 mana. The guy that bought it off me made it into an estate and sold it for 178,000. I think he made like 5 or 10,000 mana profit. This one's mine as well. Geez, so many. I've kind of gone around so much. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? This used to be mine too. I bought them all individually for 6,500 mana. Then I sold them for 12,500 mana. And that guy bought it off me and then seems to have sold it for a profit. 4 lands for 56,000 mana. 60,000. Oh, that's pretty good. 3 lands, one connected to a district. So I'd say the one connected to a district would be about 25k. The other one would be 15. So 30 plus 25, 55k. Okay, so that's about right. 60k. We have some good deals. This was 8. 170 divided by 8. So it seems like estates seem to hold their value. So people that are buying it. Whoa, wait. 4 lands for 175,000 in that pocket. That freaking pocket, guys. I'm telling you. So that pocket. Okay, so 4 lands. They're not even connected to. They're not even connected to the road. So what's that? 40 times 4 is 160. So it's not more than 40. 45? 44,000 mana. 43 to 44,000 mana each land in this area. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. But anything in this pocket you can pick up for 20,000 mana plus. There's value there. This one 189. I think this is Peter's one. He was holding on for a while now. So I sold him for 19k mana each. Pretty good. Pretty good. I think he bought him for 140. So that's 50,000 mana flip for him. 9 lands off a double road. So for 230, it's an average price of about 25,000 mana. Now this one was a decent buy. And I was actually looking at buying this too if I could just get my hands on the seller. Like I don't like, even though something's a good buy, like 1.3 divided by 40 is about 35,000 mana. Although that's a good buy, I try and find the seller, negotiate with him, try and really drill that price low and get it to about 7 to 800,000 mana. So I can list it at 1.2 mil and make my 400,000 mana in between. But a lot of the times I can't find the sellers, so I have to make a decision whether I want to buy these or not. Most of the times I don't buy anything that's a decent price. I try and buy things that are a killer price, because at the end of the day, like I don't want to be stuck holding all these lands. I need to be able to liquidate quickly, like flip real quick. That's the motto. Okay, we're in 9 days, so it seems like we're selling like 2 to 5 estates a day, and estates seem to hold their value. Like a lot of these estates, there's just so many estates, first of all, and I think they're really going to show the value once people can start to build, because that's when the build height limitation is going to start to see their effects, right? Because at the end of the day, like if you want to build more than 20, 30, 40, 50 meters, then you will need 4 to 5 parcels. You can't do that with one parcel, and they all have to be adjacent. So that being said, like I feel like the parcels that are estates, they're going to start seeing, they're either going to hold their value or increase in value. Single parcels, they're just so at the low part of at the bottom of the barrel, especially with the ones that are really far away, that it's just like, unless I can get them really cheap, I'm talking like 5,000 mana each, maybe even less than that, then it's just too risky for me to kind of go in with them. Anyway, that's a bit of discussion over the market sentiment. I might try to do this every day, because like there's so much I haven't covered. There's a lot of tools that have come out. I'll show you guys this really cool tool that I think his name is Decentraland. This is a good tool, guys. Okay, I'm gonna say it straight. This is a good deal, a good tool for someone like me that likes to explore a lot about Decentraland. So a really cool thing about this is you can be like, all right, let's go to cheapest road in the center. Cheapest land in the center. Okay, then these are all the cheapest lands in the center, but at the same time, we can be like, give us the cheapest. So this is the cheapest road land, right? Cheapest. Parcels. let's see. Say we want just the northwest, center, northwest. So the cheapest road parcels, the center northwest, which is the kind of middle quadrant in the northwest area. It's like this area here. You can kind of filter that and order all of these in that order, and you can see or have a general idea of. So this is an estate, so these are the cheapest by estates, individual parcels. But you can get an idea that the range in this area, instead of going through individual parcels, you can see that it's between 25 to 40,000 mana. 25 to about 45,000 mana. Okay, it's a pretty cool tool. And he's got some really cool things like, cheapest roadside land, cheapest, latest touching districts. So even the stuff that Nessie, the big investor, is doing. So you can be like, what is Nessie doing? You can see the stuff that is listed for sale. If he's sold any recently, so you can see he's been sold a few. He's put this for sale, sold a few, put more for sale. If he's bought some, sold some. Big estate should be in here. Another cool thing is you can see this history thing. Check this out. It's pretty cool actually. Come on guys, history. No, none of these. Okay, let's just go to the main one. But this is a pretty cool tool for. I actually spent a lot of time on this because I'm interested in seeing what's going on in terms of the range in that area, because I'm interested in pockets. Oh, that's how you do it, sorry. Just scroll up. But so you can see here that 4 hours ago, sold 4 hours ago, listed 4 hours ago, listed again. So you can see that he's gone down from 39,500 to 30,000 to 28,400 mana, and it's sold for 28,400 mana. So you can see a bit of the history of that particular seller. So you kind of see if he's kind of desperate to buy, desperate to sell, or just see like how many times he tried to sell that before. Here's another one. So sold 19 hours ago, but this had to go down from 15,000 to 12,500 to make that sale. But yeah, it's a pretty good tool. And the thing is, like, Decentraland keep coming out, or people within Decentraland keep building these really awesome tools. And there's a lot of stuff that hasn't been shown yet to the public, but like people have got me on calls and asked my opinion on stuff that they've been working on, beta testing stuff. And I'm happy to do it for free just because I really want to support people that are building stuff in Decentraland. But there's a lot of really cool stuff coming out. A lot of really good developers on board with Decentraland that are not affiliated with Decentraland directly, but are building tools and have invested at some stage and are quite enthusiastic about the future of Decentraland. And that's what I like to see. I like to see enthusiasm. I like to see FOMO. I like to see so much emotion behind a project that people are literally spending tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of US dollars in these projects to invest or purchase the assets within these projects, which is what's happening with Decentraland and even Gods Unchained, some of the really big dApps that are coming out. So I'm going to close it with that because that's like 5 gigs worth of recordings that I need to go through. But yeah, guys, let me know if you guys want me to do this on the daily. Maybe not this big, but I definitely have something to say every single day because there's just so much going on. So we're going to be preparing most likely for the next vote, for the next auction. I don't know what you guys want to do with that. There's a lot of places that we can invest within Decentraland, like unknown parcels and stuff. Are we going to be aiming for estates or better places? But at the end of the day, we'll just have to let the world pan out. Like, this is an area that no one has charted before. This is a space, a project that we don't have much data of similar projects before. Like, you know, owning your own assets, being able to trade your land, an economy that's volatile, a world that's virtual that you can build on, flippers. Like, what is going on with this game? We'll just have to let it pan out. Anyway, it was a pleasure to make this video. Let me know if you guys need or want me to see anything else. See you guys in the next one.